So I'm moving to a new apartment in about a week, and so I decided to go to the moving company's website and get a quote. Now, it took about 2 to 3 days to get a response back, and usually I'd just be like, okay, whatever, but this time I decided to make my own AI-powered bot that would give me an instant quote within 20 minutes. This way, the moving company can take this automation, put it on their website, and give their customers value immediately without having to add manpower to such a mundane task. Now, you can probably sell this automation for about $1,000 to $2,000, but I'm going to teach you how to make it here today for free. Keep in mind, you're going to have to go really deep on prompting for whatever niche you're targeting. I went a little light in this video, but with the right prompt, you'll get a reliable quoting machine. But before we jump into this video, please give it a thumbs up to help the algorithm. With that said, let's dive into it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to have some sort of mechanism, like a form the company can put on their website to capture information from somebody who's requesting the quote. So I just went ahead and made a quick form like this on Go High Level. Very simple. I kind of mimicked it off of something that they already had. Kind of took some information that I felt like was needed to create an accurate quote. And so in this aspect, I've been asking for the person's first name, their last name, so I can address it to them properly. Asking for their email so that I can send them an email back. Asking for their phone number so that we can contact them if we need to or we have any additional questions. Finally, what the day that they're moving is as a date picker. Next, where we're picking up their stuff, where we're dropping off their stuff so we can calculate like distance between the two properties. And then finally, the size of the move. Are they moving from a studio, a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom with a couple of items, 100 items, many items, all the way up to commercial sized buildings. The nuances of a moving company's quoting system is quite vast. I mean, they can add fees for stairs. They can add fees for lots of items. They can add fees for the truck. They can add fees for mileage. So there's a bunch of little things that you have to kind of keep in mind when you're trying to prompt this stuff properly. And so now that we have our form, I want to create a quick high-level workflow where our trigger is this form submission. So we're looking for the form submitted. We add the filter. Form is moving form. Save that trigger. Next, we want to set up an internal notification just so that the moving company can be aware that they got a new quote request, right? So this can be an email from admin, from the moving company's email. I want to send it to a specific email, and this would be something like new quote requested, and the email would have basically all these fields, which is going to be something like full name, email, phone number, pickup, zip code, drop off, zip code, and moving size. Go ahead and map all of these now. So just want to go ahead and go to contact, custom fields. Or actually for full name, we don't actually need that. We just need full name, we need email, we need phone number. Now we need the custom fields to come into play. So we got the moving date, we got the pickup zip code, drop off, and finally the moving size, which is right here. So we're going to save that action. And then the last action we want to do is create a webhook so that we can send that data to make.com. So I'm going to go ahead and come into make.com. I'm going to select webhooks, create a custom webhook. I'm going to go ahead and add a new one. I'm going to call this sandbox test just for me to know what it is. Click save. You see that we have our webhook present. So let's just copy this to the clipboard, go back here and put our URL right there. Let's save all this. And now what I'm going to do is go ahead and fill out this form so we can get some data to that webhook. The moving date, and let's say we're moving a 1-bedroom. So let's click submit, completed the form. You'll see we got a successfully determined data point here. So let's go ahead and click OK. Let's move this over here and let's start with our ChatGPT module so we can respond to the person in a reasonable amount of time, letting them know that they're going to be receiving a quote soon. So what we're going to do is create a chat completion, which is this one. We are going to just pick any basic, GPT-4 is good. And let's go ahead and add some messages. Role 1 is going to be a system message. Basically, we're telling the system, we're telling the AI what they are. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and just say you're a smart email assistant, someone who's monitoring emails. Next, let's add a second message. This is basically gonna be your prompt. This prompt can be pretty basic, just kind of like speak to it word for word what you want it to do. So in this case, I'm gonna say something like you're monitoring inbound quote requests for a local moving company. Your task is to analyze the quote request, come up with a high quality, personalized response. And let's see, what should we do at the end? Make sure that your response is professional. I would say please don't use, because sometimes I feel like ChatGPT gets a little crazy with the emojis, so I'm just gonna tell it not to do that. So we got our prompt in place. This is basically going to craft a custom response to the person as soon as they fill out the quote form, kind of letting them know that we received the request. We're going to be reaching out to them in the future. So let's go ahead and add another message here, and we're going to do another user prompt. Basically, internal notification. I'm going to place it in here so that we have kind of like an example of what the emails or what the webhook data looks like. I'm going to format it so it's a little bit easier to see. Next, we want to give the AI a response, kind of like an example of how they should respond to the person once they submit their quote request, right? So they're taking in this user data, and then we're going to give it like an idea of how we want them to respond, right? So I'm going to write like a quick email here. So let's say, hey Daniel, right? We want it to be personal. This is Jeff. Thanks for reaching out, and I appreciate your interest in utilizing our moving company for your big move. Let me review my team's ability. I'll send you a quote in the next 10 to 15 minutes, per se. Looking forward to helping you move. Cheers, Jeff. Yeah, something like that. Finally, we want to create one more user message here. Let's just grab it from up here. We want to map out, right? Because this is what is actually going to be coming in from our form. So I want to map it out directly here. So let's do full name, email, we'll do phone number here. Phone number. Let's do move date, pick up zip code, drop off zip code, and then move size. Great. So let's click OK. Why don't we give that a little test? So just click run, and I'm going to go ahead and submit another form, because why not? Moving size, we'll say it's a 2-bedroom. Click submit. And let's see, ChatGPT is creating a response, and there we go. We got something. Let's see what we got here. Output. Thank you for providing your moving details. The date indicated, April 4th, falls within our service schedule. We'll surely be able to assist you with your move. We're preparing a detailed quote. At the moment, you've been highlighted as a small size residence with few items. This will be taken into consideration in your quote calculation. I'll be sending your tailored quote to you in the next 10 to 15 minutes. Very good. So you can see it sounds a little robotic. There's probably something we can do with the prompting there to make it a little less, like I said, robotic, but overall it's a pretty good response, and took basically all the information that they gave into account when coming up with a message here. So I'm not mad at it. So let's go ahead and just continue, and we're going to go ahead and work on sending the actual email. So we'll do that, and we are going to send an email. Subject line is quote request received. Looking forward to helping. Content type plain text, and we want to add a recipient. This is why we collect their email in the form, so that we can send them an email. The content's just going to be what we have from our ChatGPT response. So let's just go and look for, I think it's just our result. No, correctly. And let me see if I can just run. So now that we have that email, let's go ahead and run that. Just do this again. And submit. Just make sure this is all good. Okay, I'm gonna bring this in here. So you can see we got our quote. Thank you for reaching out to our moving tour. I'm currently putting together best possible quote. Yada yada yada. With our details and moving blah blah blah. You know, pretty good quote. Basically what we said in the other one. So that worked, and it looks pretty decent. So the next thing we want to do, once we send them a message, we want to create the actual quote. And like I said at the beginning of this video, you're going to need to be pretty detailed when it comes to quoting. You don't want to misquote people. And so the more detailed you can be in your prompt, the better. And so let's go ahead and kind of go through this same structure here. We're going GPT-4. And in this case, we are going to do a system, and I will put this as your unintelligent admin assistant Next, we want to do a user, which is where we're going to actually do the prompt. Now, I built this prompt on the side of this video. I was going to spend like 30 minutes typing this out and like researching this stuff. So I have a prompt already kind of pre-written. I will just copy and paste it directly into here. If you guys are interested in seeing what I did for this prompt, go ahead and pause the video. I mean, we can go through it right now. After doing a little bit of research on moving companies, I decided like this is gonna be like a very light, basic prompt that I can at least get some sort of quote back from ChatGPT and then send it to the customer. There's a lot more nuances that go into it. I am aware of that. So take this how you will. You will want to be a lot more detailed than this when you're actually, putting this together. So your job is to monitor inbound quote requests for a local moving company. Your task is to analyze the quote, request, and create an itemized quote for the customer. Here's how you should quote. First, analyze the distance. How far in miles is the distance between the two zip codes provided? You will first add a $100 flat fee for the truck rental, then you will add $1 per every mile that needs to be traveled in the move. Second, analyze the size of the move. A studio and a 1-bedroom will require 2 movers. A 2-bedroom will require 3 movers. 3-bedroom will require 4, and a 4-bedroom will require 5 movers. Commercial buildings will require minimum 10 movers. 2 movers cost $130 per hour, 3 movers cost $169 per hour, 4 movers cost $190 per hour, 5 movers cost $210 per hour. If there are many items, multiply the hourly rate by 1.3. Please round this to the nearest whole number. Third, add on a $50 insurance fee. Please provide the quote in an itemized fashion that is easy for the customer to read and comprehend. Please do not include how you calculated the quote in the message. I added that because they started to say, by taking 1.3 times the hourly rate, I found don't include that in the quote. Please make sure your responses are professional and don't use emojis. So that is part 1. Next, we want to add another message. User, and same deal. We're going to grab what we had in our email. So I'll just go ahead and grab one of these emails that I got from those tests. And again, fix this up. And then finally, last one will be the email that I want to test, which I also have kind of prepared, kind of giving it an idea of how I want it to respond. System. If you want to see the email, I won't read it in front of you, but just go ahead and pause the video and check it out. Kind of like giving it an idea of how I want it to respond. Last but not least, the last user role with the input that we're going to give it, which was basically it's going to be the same as the last ChatGPT module. So I might have to remap these. So let's just go ahead and do that. Full name, email, phone, moving date, pickup zip, drop off, moving size. So now that that's done, actually, let's just go ahead and do the remaining email module because we want to send this email out. So send an email to the same person, right? Email, subject, your quote is ready. Plain text, and the content will be, I believe, result. We'll see about that. So now that we have that, let's go ahead and turn it on, and let's do this one more time. 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, and 2-bedroom. Submit. Let's see it run through. Let's see if we get a completion here, and more importantly, what the completion looks like. So result. Awesome. Thanks for reaching out to us to remove details. Here's a quote we've prepared for you. Labor, 3 movers, $169 per hour. Truck rental, $104. Insurance, $50. We calculate labor costs based off hours of work. Truck rental fee is a flat $100 plus $1 for each mile the movers are required to travel. Given the proximity of the zip codes, we estimate this to be around 4 miles. Please reach out if you have any questions about the quote or if you are ready to proceed with scheduling your move. Best, John. So, not bad of a response. Let me actually see if I got the email. Yeah, so if we look here, so I got the quote request received, same deal. And then finally I got the quote detailing how much I'm gonna have to pay, $169 per hour, $104 for the truck rental, $50 for insurance. Like I said, there's probably more nuances that go into quoting out a move, but this was just kind of very easy and quick. So what you're gonna wanna do now, you wanna make this seem as real as possible. So let's go ahead and unlink this, and we're gonna wanna add I believe it's called a sleep. Yeah. Let's add the sleep here, connect them like so. And then let's go ahead and unlink these and add another sleep, just to delay the execution. So it seems like someone's like sitting there crunching numbers. So we have our sleep tool here. This is in seconds. So let's say this takes about a minute and a half to respond there. And then I think 300 seconds is the max it says. So that's about 5 minutes. So overall, we're getting them their quote from form submitted to appreciation that they requested a quote in 90 seconds. And then after the fact, it's going to take 5 minutes for them to actually receive their full itemized quote from you using ChatGPT. That's pretty cool. So the actual application of an automation like this goes far beyond just a moving company. I actually got this idea from a photographer friend of mine who's running Google Ads, and he was just tired of having to manually go in and quote every single lead that comes in, regardless of if they can go forward or not. This way, I thought I could maybe create something to help him with that process. And he's just quoting everybody quickly and trying to get more people in the door without having to do so much manual effort. I think this will save somebody with a service-based company tons of money and time in labor costs that they'll definitely fork over $1,000 to $2,000 for an automation like this. No problem. But anyway, thanks for checking out this video. I hope it was helpful. I hope it was pretty cool to see what you can do with AI and automation. If you did like the video, please subscribe to my channel, join my school community. It's in the description below. We're really trying to cultivate a lot of like-minded individuals within there who are interested in growing their businesses together using systems, automations, AI, all that type of stuff. So links in the description, like I said, and I'll catch you in the next video.